Alright, let's skip boring intros, shall we? This is the happiest man in the world, probably ever. Because who would be in this situation, holding his granddaughter's lifeless body that was unjustly murdered in a missile strike, and still have this calm, this content smile, this absolute acceptance of whatever comes his way, absolutely unfazed. This is a feat fit for prophets. That's outside of human nature as we as mere mortals understand it. And when you watch his content, when you listen to people who knew him, you know that he lived his entire life in a state of uninterrupted happiness and serenity and calm. He was literally the happiest man in the world. That's not an exaggeration. How? What did he have in his life that made him happy? Let's see. He didn't have, let's say, the popularity and fortune of Anthony Bourdain. In fact, he was piss poor. He was impoverished, barely scraping by with enough for his daily meals, if that. And maybe he could spare a couple of bucks to buy a can of tuna for the stray cats he used to feed. Maybe every week or so. That was his life. He didn't have the global fame and recognition like, let's say, Heath Ledger. On the contrary, the only time he made headlines was when his granddaughter was killed in a missile strike. And honestly, if it wasn't for that tragedy, we wouldn't even know who he was. He wasn't as funny as, let's say, Robin Williams. All we ever saw from him was a calm, quiet smile, and that's it. He wasn't handsome like Kurt Cobain, for example. And I'll tell you in a second why I'm mentioning these people in particular. On the contrary, time has etched wrinkles into his face and turned his hair gray. But he lived a rare and extreme degree of happiness and died with a smile on his face. Meanwhile, all those millionaires and celebrities that I just mentioned, they all committed suicide, ended their own lives because of unbearable depression. How is that the case? Doesn't that drive you a little bit crazy? Because it absolutely drives me crazy. That almost doesn't make sense. If people truly wanted happiness, true happiness and contentment, they would stop everything they are doing, pause like, okay, stop, everybody stop, and focus all their efforts on one goal, discovering that magic formula, that magic tonic that made this man happy against all the odds and logic in the world. Because everyone who liked that formula lived anxious and depressed, no matter how much of the world they owned. Now, do you want to know what this magic formula is? You want to have it for yourself? Because you can, but remember the golden rule. If you want to achieve something, ask those who have achieved it before you. Makes sense, right? If you want to become rich, ask the wealthy. Whose business and investment advice would you trust more? Jeff Bezos or just some random homeless guy begging on the street, right? If you want to become a basketball player, ask Michael Jordan. Don't ask someone who never touched a basketball in their life and weighs 200 pounds. But here's the catch though, listen to this. Advice from failures will always sound more appealing. The broke guy will tell you to spend your money on, indulgences. Live for the moment. Meanwhile, the millionaire will tell you to save and invest and work 12-hour days. And by the same token, the overweight person will tell you how delicious fast food is, how satisfying sugar-loaded desserts dripping with chocolate are. The athlete will tell you to eat salads with no dressing and run till you're drenched in sweat. But again, remember, if you want the goal, ask those who have achieved it for the way, for the how. Agreed? Now, let's ask the man who's happy against unbelievable odds how he found happiness. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
علق قلبك بالله ولا تعلقه بالمخلوقين فإنهم وإن اجتمعوا بالثناء عليك لن يقربوك من الله إن كنت بعيدا عنه وإن اجتمعوا على ذمك فلن يبعدوك عن الله إن كنت قريبا منه فاقطع الطمع بالخلق وعلق قلبك بالله سبحانه فإنه من توكل على الله كفاه ومن اعتصم به نجاه ومن فوض إليه أمر هداه أليس الله بكاف عبده دمتم في رعاية الله وأمنه. تحياتي.
Grandpa Khalid Nabhan lived his entire life under conditions none of us could endure even for a single day. We all know this. It's unimaginable the life these people live. Yet his face was always adorned with a smile. His tongue only knew gratitude to God. Until the whole world came to know him by the phrase, the soul of the soul, when he was mourning his granddaughter, one of the most powerful human moments captured on camera. It's naturally saddening to see this. But then you remember that everything happens by the will of God. He has wisdom behind everything. And Khalid's patience, this nirvana state that he always lived in, became the reason millions of people learned about the justice of the Palestinian cause and the brutality of the occupation, the insanity of this Zionist project. It's almost impossible for a human being to watch this and not be impacted by it. Because at the end of the day, we're all searching for happiness. It's like we're all trying to break through a giant gate locked with chains, and millions of people are trying to get through. Then someone comes to you and tells you, okay, I have the keys. You can just walk through. Wouldn't it be insane to still try to break the chains? To break your fist punching the gate? This is exactly what we are desperately trying to do, searching for happiness in all the wrong places. The key is somewhere else entirely. Khalid Nabhan found it. He had it. Now, 3 days ago, the inhumane, monstrous Israeli occupation assassinated Grandpa Khalid Nabhan. Nobody knows why. What danger did he pose to anybody? Obviously, his mere existence threatens their expansion prospects, but that's not the point right now. The point is, the question is, did he die with fear and panic on his face while a military jet was literally bombing him and his family, as I would be, as anybody would be? No. Here's his picture. Smiling with contentment, still happy, still calm. That was the last look on his face while hellfire missiles were raining on him. A level of peace that millions of people never even experienced once in their luxurious lives. That's because he knew that the thing that he lived for his entire life was finally here. It was graduation day for him. He was finally getting rewarded by Allah. This is it. This is the moment he enters heaven. That's the happiest moment in his entire life. Why wouldn't he be happy about it? The only thing that would lead you to true happiness in this life is to know that the end of it would be better than its beginning. As Prophet Muhammad said, this life is a prison for the believer and the paradise for the disbeliever. Once the believer dies, he is freed. He starts an eternity in absolute bliss in God's paradise, unlike the disbeliever, in which case it's the other way around. A Muslim sees this world as a layover in their journey to meeting God and entering heaven. That's when your true life starts. Finally, if you are a non-Muslim listening to this and you want to learn about Islam, you want to be as happy as Khalid Nabhan was, please go to chatanddecide.com. There is a live chat with real people, not bots. You can ask them about Islam, Christianity, religion, purpose of life, any of these things. There are videos, books, unlimited resources, and it's all in 9 languages. May God lead us all to the right path. See you in the next video.